That's the worst intro ever, Jesus Christ.
Welcome to the Kill City Cup. I got the world by the balls.
Spook to the loo, another WrestleRoni for me and for you. Oh my God, look who chimed in from the bottom of the sea. Marcus Twist is joining us today. How you doing, Marcus?
Under the sea, under the sea. I'm doing good, man.
You
How
know,
are you doing?
you singing that song reminds me. I was just watching Evil Ways. What the fuck was with the mermaid Barbies and the barbed wire, and you singing Under the Sea?
Okay, so, Ziggy Haim
Mm-hmm.
was scheduled to be there,
Oh.
at some point. I don't know if it was for that show in particular or if it was one before that, but they had already had the Barbies wrapped up in the mermaids wrapped up in barbed wire.
Okay.
So whenever we kind of got to look over the things that we got to use, I was like, yeah, I'm taking that. And then I said, I'm gonna sing while I use these, however I end up using them, and that's how we ended up doing it.
There you go. That's why you
So,
watch WrestleRoni. Now you got the scoop.
insider exclusive. Thank you, Ziggy, for not being there,
Yeah.
because it gave me something fun to do.
Made a hell of a spot. And Marcus Twist, I don't know if you're aware or not, WrestleRoni is brought to you by the Kill City Cup. Have you watched it yet?
No, I haven't.
Jesus.
I
brutally
know,
honest.
dude. I'm slacking. I'm millions of things behind.
You don't even watch WrestleRoni.
No, that's not true. I watch WrestleRoni. There's just a bunch of stuff that I haven't watched. But I mean, we've been busy. We're busy people. We're out
Okay.
here doing things.
We're talking wrestling movies and sponsors and good things, all this great stuff. Maybe we have a nice little scoop we would like to give to the folks on the channel, Marcus Twist. What you got up your sleeve?
Okay. So, well, we'll give you guys the background story, the idea. I'll shoot it all out there, all for everyone to see. Um, because of the Kill City Cup sponsor, it definitely got me thinking and more in gear because I've seen a bunch of clips. It's not like I've never seen it. It's not like I'm not familiar with it. But probably a little over, I'd say 18 months ago, maybe roughly something like that. We were talking about horror movies and how I wanted to film a horror movie, and it was kind of like a joke, and everyone sort of talked about it in the group chat, and we were kicking ideas off each other, the one chat that we're in, and I was like, that'd be crazy if we could do this at some point. Fast forward to upgrading cameras for WrestleRoni and getting the mic situation figured out,
Thank
and
you.
having good equipment. I was like, you know what? I feel like this is the time to try to do this and give it a fair shot at doing it. Because I'm really big on indie film stuff and DIY stuff. I was a punk kid back in the day, really big on horror movies, big on monster movies, things of that nature. And I was like, well, I think it's finally time to kick off this idea that I've had. So I came to you and I talked to you about it, and I came to a couple other guys and I talked to them about it, and there's still things that we haven't discussed so far. But where we're at now is so I want to do, essentially, if this ends up working out good, I want to do a Universal Monster type mashup with wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the very first installment, which I mean I don't know when this is coming out, but I plan to like drop this little teaser trailer and all that by like the end of the week. We'll throw it up on the channel. We'll throw it up wherever.
You ain't getting me no copyright strike.
Yeah, you're not gonna get copyright stricken.
I saw it.
I edited it.
Uh, God bless you. You did a good job.
Listen here, bud.
I ain't
Those
having Rick
all the
Baker come
videos
after me.
came from YouTube, and you're allowed to use X amount of footage that ain't yours. The music we're allowed to use. The shit that I was saying we're allowed to use. We ain't gonna get copyright stricken. You're worried for nothing. We'll be fine. There ain't gonna be nobody even know what's going on. It's so dark in that whole deal anyway. I heavily edited it so we could use it. But so the first installment is Attack of the Were-Zebra. The movie title's out there finally. And after kicking this around for so long, like there's been like 3 or 4 people I talked to about being the Were-Zebra. There's, and it's got to be a referee. I want it to be somebody that we work with and we know. But the premise of the movie is there's a match. Referee takes a bump. Referee turns into a werewolf, and then crazy shit happens. So that's where we're at as far as that goes. But I wanted to give myself some kind of weird like time restriction, so we had to pump it out quick.
Yeah.
So I think because like the South Park guys do that, they make like episodes in a week. And I feel like that's interesting. I feel like it'll make things like more genuine and like be hot under the collar.
Yeah.
Having 15 days or what is it, 17 days to get it done and out.
But we're shooting as far as production, it's all getting shot in one day, is my understanding.
One day.
And
Yep.
then it's up to your boy to edit all this madness together and get it
Yes,
out.
it is.
But that's fine. I'm happy. I'm happy to assist in your vision. I know that you've been talking to some local bands to get music. Me and you've had discussions about the budget that where you're going to go out and buy some stuff for the movie. I'm about it, man.
Oh, it's the shit. We'll go into more and more of it, I guess. The budget. I wanted to keep it as low budget as possible. I'm a huge fan of like B-rated shitty horror movies. Most of the stuff is gonna be like gonna be low budget props. It's all like DIY stuff. I bought like a bunch of random shit from Amazon and the Halloween store just to kind of throw everything together. I don't know if we should say what the budget is yet.
It's bigger than you think it is. Well, I'll
It's
say that much.
Well, for people that like hear about movies and they're like, "Oh, well, movies are thousands of dollars." Like if you include the actual camera equipment itself and like probably all the props and the costumes and things of that nature, like if you lump it all up, which all of it's been bought separately over the past like I'd say like year,
Yeah.
something like that, in between like the costumes that are being worn, the monster stuff, the blood, the camera, the mic. Like if you put everything together, we're probably sitting at like almost $1,500.
Yeah. And Tim's going to charge us to rent the ring. You know that.
No, I don't. He's not.
I was
No.
joking. Jesus.
Yeah,
you
it's
made me
all
so
right.
serious.
I already covered all my bases with that. I talked to him. If I don't move the ring, I don't have to pay anything to Tim.
Okay.
But we are going to
Thanks,
give
Tim.
RSW a big old shout out. So,
Oh, of course. I'd
yeah.
say probably 99% of the actors will be RSW wrestlers. And hey, I finally get to put those Lloyd Kaufman books to use that I've been reading all my life.
See, I mean, like this is a give and take thing. It's something that I've always wanted to do. I hope it takes off so we can continue to make movies, and I hope people enjoy it for what it is, and people aren't like super critical about it because it's gonna be it's a first experience for a lot of the guys involved. I think
Mm-hmm.
'cause everyone shot promos, everyone's wrestled, everyone's like watched horror movies. But I think you're probably the most experienced person in the horror movie genre that's gonna be involved in it. Everyone else is relatively new to it.
and I've shot some movies in my day. Growing up, believe me, we made a lot of little films. I've learned some tricks and things along the way. So, my attitude for the film is hey, man, this is Marcus's vision. You do what you got to do. I'll give you some tips. You got the reins of the horse. You ride it off into the sunset. Let's see how it does. Then, next movie, let's see what Spooky Lou can do.
Yeah, it's like I want to throw together something that's really fun from beginning to end that doesn't take any part of it too serious. Does that make sense?
For sure. For
Because like
sure.
we've talked about it, but we haven't like gone over it. You know what I mean? Like I almost want to, because this is fantasy, this is fun. I almost want to poke fun at wrestling and
Mhm.
poke fun at horror movies and like everything in between. You know what I mean?
Right on.
Because realistically, like the way that we're advertising and the little like funny jokes that'll be in and like just things that I've been thinking of, like I don't want anyone to take it as like it's not a horror comedy, but there is comedy like in it. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
So like I wanted to give like a fun experience for everybody involved, not just, any Joe Schmo can watch it and enjoy it, but I want people that are like insiders to be able to watch and be like, "Oh my God, that's fucking hilarious." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just not take the process or the actual it's the destination, not the journey. You know what I mean?
And it's something different for the channel. It's kind of us flexing our chops. We're not just a wrestling channel. We're not just a podcast channel. That's why it's called WrestleRoni Plus. Damn it.
Yeah, and this will be like the first official like part of the branch like taken off where it's WrestleRoni Productions, and we'll be able to throw it out there into the internet. People like it, people won't like it, people watch it, people don't watch it. Um, I just want to give good wrestling, good horror, jokes that land, things that like I personally enjoy from movies that I've seen over the years. I want to just kind of lump the whole experience up for somebody else in like 20 to 30 minutes. Just give somebody like something that you wouldn't, because everyone's seen like Wrestlers versus Zombies or some of those other movies. I know that there's more than one. Um,
Monster Brawl. Me and
yeah,
DD Vice
like
was talking about that earlier today.
yeah,
There's
like
tons of them.
there's a lot of wrestlers are in movies or wrestlers are the main attraction of like a movie, like a horror movie, and it's real campy and
Mm-hmm.
goofy, and that's what I want. But I want it to be. I feel like a lot of those movies are like you're meant to take it serious,
Mm-hmm.
but the product is too low budget. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Right
So
on.
like this is like the perfect, you know what I mean? Hey, it's lower budget. We're calling it what it is. This isn't like a blockbuster style movie. We're never going to make millions of dollars off of it, more than likely. But it is something fun that I feel like we could look forward to like every Halloween. As long as this first one's successful and people enjoy it, I say we keep going.
Oh yeah. Even if it's not successful, then we give it another try. We're not going to give up at that.
Can't leave it on a bad note.
Yeah. No. 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 Yeah. So I'm all about it, man. I'm excited. Where do I? Yeah, I'm excited for it. I like it. I like the idea. I like the premise. It's going to be something different. And like you say, yeah, it's going to be low budget, but we do have a standard on the channel. Yesterday, Marcus, there was a post I saw. We were called the largest wrestling media outlet in West Virginia. So we have a standard to live up to now, sir.
That is one hell of a standard. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm proud of what the channel and what the product has become over like the past, what year, a little over a year.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like we're capable of doing much, much, much more.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to like continuing to, expand on that. I went from being like a pretty regular co-host to being like a behind the scenes guy, and we've sort of talked about that. But I mean, I feel like I could probably take my spare time and the behind the scenes stuff and come up with different ideas and shoot them around and just kind of branch out.
For
The
sure.
movie is part of that.
For sure. Speaking of which, I thank you on behalf of myself and on behalf of the subscribers. You hooked us up with VCW. We got some VCW on the channel, and a big thank you to Beastman as well for having me. That was a fun night.
Oh man, the night of the Saturday night special. That uh because we had talked earlier on in the day and you had ran into some personal issues and there was a show that you couldn't make. And at the same time there was no cameraman for the VCW show there in Wheeling. So kind of took it upon myself to be like, all right, well, let's, if Lou's got the time, and this is like because most of the time what IndieWrestling.us films for VCW.
And does a damn good job.
Yeah, do a fantastic job. Sorge is very professional. He's been doing this, for VCW since the beginning. This is the one show that he couldn't make, and I had to capitalize on it because I'm pretty sure there was a show a while back, and we don't really have a lot of footage of that either.
You're right. Yeah.
And there was fan footage and random, clips here and there, but there was nothing like solid concrete from that show. And I didn't want another show at a new place. I didn't want it to go to waste. So, I mean, it was a match made, match fit.
Yeah, dude, and what a fun show. The stuff with Colton Quinn and Danny Jax. Oh man, this is going to get so fun and so wild. I'm all about it, and I'm all for anytime you guys need to put some story on the channel or anything regarding this. I'm your guy. Well, I mean, you're just as much part of the channel as I am, but give it to me all day. Let's fucking put this soap opera out to the masses.
It is kicked off in a very small way, but that's how every fire starts.
Right on.
We've had subtle hints to what's going to be coming up within the next, X amount of months. I think it won't be this following like October show. I believe there's a show in October that we're on, but it should be the following shows after that leading up until the new year. That like you guys are gonna see a lot more Saturday Night Special versus Colton Quinn and friends of Colton Quinn. Because it's 2-on-1, it's not fair. Technically it's 3-on-1 because Danny's ours now. She just doesn't know it yet. But I mean, once we get there, it'll be worth it. I think we're gonna build something real memorable there.
Yeah, from what I've heard, and I know the folks involved, so I'm about it. Speaking of last weekend, have you seen any of the footage from RSW in New Martinsville in a barn at 4-H camp? What a dude!
I'm the guilty party, man, that I always end up catching clips of guys that post stuff, and I try to pop in and like stuff and like share whenever I can, whenever it pertains to like me or something that I'm involved in. I saw a lot of pictures.
Okay.
I saw skewers involved.
Yeah.
in a pig pen match, which is interesting.
Yeah.
We saw the return of Danger Cat out of nowhere. That was something really wild that I didn't expect. Andrew Palace and Vance Desmond. Yep. We saw that.
Tyler Jacks made his RSW debut at that show as well. That was fun.
Yeah. We're gonna have to tell Stephen Meeks.
There you go. Yeah, he'll love to hear it. He'll be so happy.
Will. Yeah, we're gonna have to fill in Stephen Meeks. Shout out Stephen Meeks.
Stephen Meeks all day. I'll tell you about my experience in New Martinsville, bro. This in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we're driving and driving, no gas stations, just some houses here and there. It was nuts. So we get there, they're having a damn demolition derby right across the way. And it's almost bell time. I'm like, oh my God, like this is going to be an empty arena show. I'm panicked. Nobody else is, but I'm fucking panicked. So I'm like, why don't we go out and spread the word? So me, Billy, and Mount Kilpus, we go around, tell some people. But like I say, there's a demolition derby across the way. So I go over and look at the demolition derby. They got a crowd, probably about 100, 150 people. So everybody's over there. Swear to God, bro, I think they had 2 cars in that demolition derby. I'm dead serious. Dead serious. When I went over there was only 2 cars, and it was just starting. So, needless to say, the demolition derby didn't last very long. So, we might have kicked back the time a little bit, delayed things a bit. Make a long story short, that place was filled up. By main event time, you could tell these people had never saw pro wrestling in their life. But they caught on. They caught on, got into it, and I got to give props to Tim. When I got there, he was like, dude, you're not going to be able to get around the ring to get ringside shots. I'm like, yeah, Tim, like, if I got to climb over shit, I'm going to get around the ring. Well, why don't you just sit up there with me and you'll do commentary. He's smart. He's smart. He knew what he was doing. He sold me on that commentary. So me and Tim had fun doing commentary. It was a fun night.
Hey, man, like, I coming from somebody who used to work out of town, New Martinsville does not seem like the type of people that have never seen professional wrestling. That being said, I haven't been there now in probably like 5 years. There's been no reason to go through New Martinsville. And there's been talks about like VCW running shows there. I just saw that Tim did the festival there. I know that there's future dates for RSW there.
Right.
There's nothing there.
No.
New Martinsville is an extremely empty place, except like especially if you're going back roads to get there.
Mm-hmm.
If you take 70 down to Route 2 or Route 4, I forget which one. I'm pretty sure you could take both because one's on one side of the river, one's on the other side. But there's nothing at all if you go the back way from Morgantown, like how I used to go.
Mm-hmm.
Once I found out that I could jump on 70 and make it, like I never drove the back way through like what is that, Blacksville, ever again, because it's just empty. It's big, empty, nothing but woods the entire way, and then you just pop up in New Martinsville. And that's fucking crazy, because like it is a town in the middle of nowhere. It's 45 minutes to anything else.
But by God, they want us back. I think we made some fans. The kids seem to enjoy it, and that's what it's all about. Speaking of which, speaking of the kids enjoying things, we're supposed to be joined by Air Duzan. Here we are talking and waiting. We're 20 minutes deep, no Air Duzan. So,
hey man,
will he be here? Will he not? I don't know. If we run an hour, then I've got another one coming up after this. I got another interview, Duzan. So I don't know.
I was gonna say I'm not exactly sure. I know that I can't do the entirety of the episode because of previous work engagement type shit that I need to go do. But
for the fans that don't know, probably the day I announced Marcus as co-host of the show, they changed his schedule at work, and here we are. He pops up about once a month.
Yeah, I pop up here more than I pop up at like some promotions that like me. So, I mean, you can't really beat that.
I ain't bitching. Real world comes first. Make that money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I'm on night shift, unfortunately, and have a bunch of stuff to deal with before I actually start my shift today.
Right.
So we popped in to try and talk to Aaron Duzan. But we like to use our time in a positive way whenever we have time.
For sure.
So that's why we're talking about the movie. We're talking about stuff that's happened leading up until this. I'm not necessarily like being a super huge dick like I normally am, but we might have to talk about something that does bring it out of me. I don't know.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's funny. That's a good segue because something I was going to pose to Duzan. Since he's not here, I'll pose it to you. You ready for this? So I'm talking to a friend that is saying he's going to start training for RSW. He's going to train to be a wrestler. I've known said friend my entire life, and he's a big wrestling fan. Always watched wrestling. So I thought he had an understanding, a slight understanding at least, on how wrestling works. So I asked him, we'll go ahead and pimp this Friday, September 30th, Spooky Lou's birthday. Come on out to Morgantown, some brewing company. Look on the RSW Facebook. You'll get the location. We got a show there. I asked the friend, I say, hey, man, you coming to the show? I don't know. Tim wants me to come help set up, man, but I don't know. Marcus Twist, tell me about paying dues and earning your spot in the wrestling business.
Man, see, whenever I first started,
Mm-hmm.
we trained anywhere from 3 to like 5 days a week because
Uh-huh.
this was COVID. Everything was taken real serious, and there were no wrestling shows to have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now after probably I had been around maybe a couple months,
Mm-hmm.
and we started moving the ring into a bigger part of our building to have like these closed set shows,
Right.
where you're just inviting like basically family.
Mm-hmm.
Family were the only people that could be there. Family and other wrestlers, people who regularly got tested and could show up, and like you knew COVID wasn't going to tear down everybody because everyone decided to gather in a place.
Yeah.
Uh, I had came in numerous times not being on the show at all, like not being involved in any way other than to be a spectator, to break the ring down with the rest of the trainees, take it into that room, hang out in the crowd for the show, be the people that spectated and booed and cheered and did the deal. So yeah, you got to watch a free wrestling show, and I got to see a lot of cool people do a lot of cool things during a really trying time where people didn't really get to go do anything.
Right.
And then you'd stay late to break the ring down and put it back.
Right.
Now, once COVID kind of, because it's not over, but I mean, like, once COVID kind of, like, the dust settled, I started working again. And I work blue collar. It's, what I do. It's how I've always made my living, like, far before wrestling. And whenever we were doing these closed set shows, like I was working regularly like 50, 60 hours a week and still doing it. Still coming in, still making training relatively the same amount, still like tearing down rings, moving stuff, helping out, running for people. And then whenever like everyone started having shows again, I was doing all of that plus working like 50, 60 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
And running people, like picking up veterans and taking them to shows in North Carolina, which was fucking insane at the time for literally nothing, for $10. um I drove whoever whenever. At one point, like our trainer at the time had like trouble with getting to and from training, and he didn't have a reliable ride, so I was picking him up and taking him to training.
Okay.
Whenever we would change locations, I would help out. Whenever we were setting up shows, I would help out. This was long before I had ever actually stepped in the ring in front of people. The first time that I ever did, it was in a locker room full of people that are like my peers, and I know them well today. But I had done the same exact thing my first time walking out in front of everybody, and I had to earn that every bit of it and then some. And that was like 8 months in.
Right. And that's earning a spot. Not to brag, but before I was even offered a spot in RSW, I remember showing up at Fairmont State and seeing chairs and just setting up chairs. Just because I loved RSW and I wanted to help. It's because you love wrestling and you want to contribute and you want to help wrestling. Speaking of which, you know who I love? Aaron Duzan message. Should we bring him on?
Ah,
Ladies and gentlemen, former junior heavyweight champion of RSW, one of the fastest rising stars in independent wrestling, Aaron Duzan. How you feeling?
Good. How are you all?
We're good. We're good.
Hanging
We're
in
glad
there.
to have you.
oh yeah.
Hey, thanks.
Marcus isn't going to be with us much longer. I mean, in life he will, but not today. So I'll let Marcus fire some questions at you before he leaves.
I was gonna say, don't make it out like I'm gonna pass away all of a sudden. 'Cause that's not on my agenda of things to do.
We got shit to do.
Yeah, we got too much shit to do, man. I can't do that. Okay, so we have Oktoberfest in Morgantown. That's coming up Friday or Saturday?
I think it's Friday.
I thought it was Saturday.
Maybe it's Saturday.
It might be Saturday.
It's my
I
birthday.
thought the 30th or 31st?
It's the 30th.
I don't know. But anyway, so
Is that the question? What day the show
yeah,
is?
we're building up to it 'cause I'm
Okay.
trying to figure out what day it is. So there's I was talking earlier about like match cards. Haven't seen the match cards. Now there's a rumor, and I've heard this. I've not yet had it confirmed yet. But Aaron Duzan's opponent for this event for Spooky Lou's birthday might be yours truly, Marcus Twist.
Woo!
Aaron, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about walking in to a cage? I'm a caged animal. I ain't wrestled in a couple weeks. I'm ready to go, nice and fit. How do you feel about walking in to a very fresh, very uninjured Marcus Twist?
Excited, honestly. It's going to be an honor, a privilege.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's
See,
a
I'm
special
excited
young
too.
man.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah. I hope that's what's happening.
Me too.
Now, I've yet to hear exactly when or what or how, but I know that was a rumor. So we're going to have to double, triple check on that. Hopefully we don't just find out when we get there. But
Yeah,
it's exciting.
it is exciting.
No doubt. No doubt. Happy birthday to me. I'm all for it. All for it. Air Duzan. We got all kinds of fan questions for you here. It's crazy time. What me and Marcus was just talking about, and I did want to pose this to you as well. I'll make it real quick here. I was talking to a friend that's talking about training with RSW. I say, hey, you coming to the show Friday? He says, I don't know, man. Tim's wanting me to come and help out, and I don't. Air Duzan, I know you've paid your dues if anybody has. Tell me about paying dues in the wrestling business.
It's work. For sure, it's work.
Why do you do it?
Out of love
Thank you.
for, yeah, just out of love for wrestling.
Not because you have to, because you love it, right?
Yep.
Tell me some shit you had to go through when you first got in.
I held doors for a while, a good while.
Okay. Held some doors. I'm
Held
sure
some
you've
doors, set up the ring, tear down the ring, help haul the ring back.
and that's something you're still doing to this day. I see you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, if you could talk to this guy, he's never been in the business. What would your advice be?
Shut up and just do what you're told. Honestly, that's my best advice.
Well, it makes fucking sense to me,
Like,
man.
it's, if you love it, you're going to continue to do it and know that there's a reward on the other side. No matter how long it takes you, it's got to get there.
And let's say the reward is, it's not just for Duzan. Duzan don't get shit. You're never getting a belt. You're going to job, just hypothetical. But the product's going to improve. And is that good enough?
Yeah.
No.
I'm not here for my own like selfish needs or goals. I'm here to better wrestling any way I can. Bring more eyes to the product.
I love it. I love it.
I didn't get to talk to this mystery fucking person.
No doubt. Drop
Aaron
names.
got to talk to him. I didn't.
I'll call him up right now. Now, when we got time, sometime maybe we'll just all just pile on this motherfucker out of nowhere.
Yeah, but I can't hypothetically talk to him. We got Aaron talking to him. You just asked
Okay.
for my experiences, not my advice.
Okay, well, what would you say then?
Quit being a fucking bitch. That's probably the first thing I would say. The second, and then follow it up immediately after, because I feel like I've earned my right to say that by saying, dude, the business doesn't owe anybody anything.
Yep.
There are so many people that start and never get to the point where they actually get to be in the ring in front of people. And I've seen hungry guys that just had unfortunate shit happen to them. More than one trainee at more than one school at more than one place that I've been to, just there's medical issues or personal issues family issues that like keep them from ever wanting to do it. And like if you have the time and the money and the drive, and I mean some people still don't get to live that dream being out in front of people. So I'm what, this April I'll be like 4 years in officially since I started training. And I like have just now gotten to the point where like wrestling's giving back to me.
Yeah.
Like, and in small doses. It's not like I'm like, you know, pumping out like crazy amounts of merch or, you know, whatever, but I break more than even now more often than not, and that still doesn't always happen. To think that you could come in and not do anything and not earn your spot just amongst the trainees and not amongst the like the actual roster itself should feel like it's miles above you. To
Yeah.
earn your spot alongside other trainees and to deserve to be there is a climb in itself.
There you go.
So if you're not willing to make the climb, don't even fucking start.
Yeah. When he started, he asked me, he said, "What advice can you give me?" And the first thing I told him is, with wrestling, you better give 10 times before you take once. And obviously, that didn't sink in.
Oh, dude, it takes years of dedication and getting your ass beat and doing shit that you don't want to do and being an extra in every way, being a taxi driver, being, you know, just the guy there that can run and go do whatever. A lot of us have gotten past that, according to like, as far as I'm concerned, the guys that I started with, a lot of us now are current champions or former champions. We've put in the work. We work at a bunch of different places. We're respected everywhere. We manage to show respect to a lot of people. That's how we get work in the first place. We're good at what we do and professional, but like it all starts somewhere. You gotta actually start. And if you're starting off on the wrong foot, everyone will hate you. Like you have to earn the right to even bitch. Like it's crazy how that
Well,
works.
let me pose this to you guys. There's a lot of this going around this week. I'm seeing it on Facebook, Twitter. Something's in the air. What about these fans pretending to be wrestlers? It's a lot
Ooh.
of it going around. I've even had to make some comments, and you know Spooky Lou stays positive, but I've had to set some people straight. Duzan, I'll start with you. Are fans wrestlers, and why do they think they're wrestlers?
No, I see a lot of this stuff on Facebook too. I just bite my tongue, move past it.
God bless
It's
you.
it's funny to me. I don't know. I get a laugh.
Okay. Well, God bless you. You're a positive dude. Marcus, I have a feeling you're not going to be as kind about it.
No. I'm a dick whenever I see somebody do something like that. I mean, and there's a huge difference in between like, because indie wrestling has their super fans, and you know, just like big time professional like promotion would have their super fans and they're there all the time. And like once you get familiar with a fan and you interact with them more, we've had Bradley on here. That's a perfect example of somebody who like, hey, he's been coming to these shows longer than I've actually been working. He knows his place. He knows that he needs to be on the other side of the barricade. Some people might have certain opinions about him. I personally like Bradley. I like interacting with him. He's like a personal like little plant just for me and Dee Dee Vice to fuck with.
Yeah. And
And he
he
takes
makes
it
sure,
all in stride.
yeah, he makes sure to put you guys over instead of himself over.
Yeah, but we also have like on the opposite side of the spectrum, because I told you this example earlier when I called you.
Hmm.
Um, we were talking about there's a, well, we don't really know what he's doing, because he never answered my message.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he has merchandise. He interacts with wrestlers one-sidedly all the time. He added me on Facebook. He's from somewhere like Illinois or, you know, somewhere in the Midwest. And like he poses as being like a manager or a valet or however he would probably like to, you know, title himself. But I feel like he's just one of those super fans that got carried away one day.
Right.
And like I was totally honest whenever like I sent the message because I had time. Sometimes I don't have time to fuck around. Well, last night I did. I got idle like from work. I'm working on a bunch of stuff for this movie coming up. I'm working on designs for us that are coming out within the next like month. I'm trying to wrap up a bunch of shit. I see one of his like posts talking about a particular female wrestler, and that's like seems to be like his jam. I messaged him and said, "So are you like?" And I'm not trying to be a dick. Are you training? Do you actually manage people? Are you like valeting? Like, because I see a lot of talk. I see the merchandise on your page. But I don't see any videos, no pictures, like no proof that you've actually even did anything to be in the fucking spot that you're in. Like, I'm just curious, what the fuck is like going on? Like, do you need to train? Like, or are you just fucking playing? Like, is this just like something you do because you don't have, anything else going on? And nothing. So,
Yeah.
like, to that guy and to people like that, stay on your side of the fucking barricade, man. Stay in your seat. You don't have to be like, if you want to be a wrestling personality, sacrifice the time and the effort. Sacrifice the money for school. Sacrifice what everyone else did.
There you go.
There's no, it makes no sense to think that you've earned something that you didn't. I mean, like, I'm not gate. I don't gatekeep the business. Me and Aaron Duzan came from gatekeepers. That's who fucking trained us. I mean, that's insider information right there. I don't gatekeep the business, but I do think that if you're going to be a huge part of it, and you're going to be on the other side of the camera, the other side of the barricade, that you should get your fucking shit together, or just don't do it.
Thank you. Thank you. That point. Anything you'd like to add to that, Duzan?
Nah, that's well put. Hell yeah.
Well, speaking of fans, we've had a load of fan questions come in, so we better start dipping into them. Now, some's for you, some's for my guests later. See, I don't know who this one's for, so Jeff James, if you know the guy, that's the first question I have. What's it like being a cat? I think it's for the other guy, but I think it could apply to you. Maybe.
I would assume. It's fun. Very fun. Well, way I can put it. You feel goofy, but it's fun.
There. Well, we got Jeff's dumbass fucking question out of the way, so. Next up, Mickey Boggs. What's the match that made you want to be a pro wrestler, Duzan? Or was there a certain match?
I don't know. Like, growing up watching wrestling, I was a big Chris Benoit guy fan. So, like,
everybody else fucking bring up Chris Benoit on my goddamn podcast. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Because
People love him.
Yeah, you don't gotta love what he did outside the ring, but inside the ring, dude, absolutely. He's legit the one guy that got me hooked. It wasn't Rey Mysterio or John Cena. It was Chris Benoit. I thought he was so aggressive.
There you
I don't know. So any match of his, I pretty much watched, and I knew back then, like, that's what I want to do.
So Chris Jericho got you into wrestling. Good to hear.
Yep, yeah. He invented it, baby.
Yeah, man. Good props to Chris Jericho. God bless Chris Jericho. All right. I haven't even read this one. Let's see. This is from old Willie Storm, so I can only imagine. How has being a professional wrestler positively impacted your life, and what are some long-term goals moving forward? Well put, Willie Storm.
Well, before wrestling, and even still, I'm a really hard guy to get a hold of. I'm very anxiety-ridden, so I just stay to myself. But wrestling's helped me, like, open up more, meet new people. So that's one impact wrestling has done for me. It's kept me on a straight and narrow
Maybe even
path.
helped you find love. You never know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. What's some long-term goals?
Long-term goals, just bringing more eyes to the product,
That's why.
bringing new people. That's pretty much all my goals are.
And you're doing
Just get as many
brother.
people involved in wrestling as I can.
You're fucking doing it, man. I tell you, when I ask folks, you watch an RSW, who would you like to work? They either say Billy Knox or Air Duzan, so you're doing something right.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Marcus, I know you don't have a whole lot of time left in this world of WrestleRoni. Do you have any
There it is
questions for
again.
Duzan?
Well, we gotta be enemies if that's what's coming up.
Okay.
And it is unfortunate, but because we've known each other and get along so well, and everyone loves you, it's hard to hate you. I'm gonna do my best, though, to be as aggressive and shitty to you as I am to everyone else, but I won't like it. Uh,
Hey,
what
what
what's
happens in the
your
ring happens in the ring, man.
right?
Is
What's
what it is.
what's your game plan? What do you think if this is, us getting paired off with one another? If we're toe to toe coming up this weekend, what do you think would be the best course of action to go up like with your style against mine? How do you think you could pull off a win?
I think I just try to quick roll you up and use my speed, everything against you.
Smart. It's definitely smart.
Probably gave away my game plan there, but I got other tricks. Don't worry.
I'm the man known as the anti-air machine gun. I've been catching guys way bigger than you for a while now and making them pay for it. So I'm just throwing that out there. That slingshot suplex comes quick.
I think you should hit him with a fireball, Duzan.
Oh, bet.
Fireball.
It is Fireball season. They probably sell it at Sheets. You can drink as much of it as you want.
Well, any good wrestler is going to stop at Sheets, either going to or from the show, so be on the lookout.
Yeah, I think they even sell them in individual bottles in like a big bucket at Sheets now.
Okay. Brian Polly wrote in pretty much the same question, but maybe it's a little different. What was your inspiration that helped you decide you wanted to be in wrestling?
Just being bigger than life, like getting noticed, not being the weird short emo kid that just barely talks to anybody.
Do you think you've succeeded in that?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, so humble. So humble. You should hear some of these reactions this kid's getting. I think they might like me. Here's a good one. Dustin Burwell. I don't know if you guys know the guy. Good fella.
I might be familiar.
Yeah, heard he's hung like a horse, but anyways. What's your pre-match ritual?
I just recite my life in my head, legit. That's what gets me amped up. Because before a show, I'm usually almost into a panic attack. Like, I can't do this. I'm not as good. Like, someone's gonna poke holes in my, like, I don't know. It's weird. But once I start thinking about that, it just makes me want to be better. So I have the motivation. All my focus is on the match.
I love it. Recently, you was in there with Violent Vance Desmond, not only our champion, but a respected veteran. What can you tell me about that match, after the match, before the match, anything?
Before the match, I was anxious, like beyond belief. But it was actually one of my favorite matches, and I think I told Vance that, like, never had as like much fun in a match than that match. And I think after the match, he told me he was proud of it, like he was happy with it. So that left me happy.
Hell yeah, man. Damn. I don't know how you lived from that stomp off the top, but God bless you. You're a tough dude.
He stomped on my head too one time.
Fuck that. What match did I put up recently? My God. I think it was Theo. The match with Theo. That stomp. My God.
See, I wrestled Theo Strong a while back.
Did
That
you?
dude's oh yeah, yep, at AIWF Great Lakes. I did a double shot up there my first time up there, and I went up against Theo Strong and Remy LeVay.
Really?
Yes, I did.
Huh.
And I beat Remy LeVay, big win for me. I brag about it all the time whenever he's not around and can't hear me. And then I wrestled Theo later in the night.
Damn.
Yep.
That must have been before my time.
That's a little bit before your time. That's like right before your time, I think.
All right, before my time.
Yep.
Huh. Well, Brittany Carroll writes in for Duzan. What keeps you going on the days you feel like giving up? Any advice for someone new coming in?
I really don't know if I have days where I fully feel like giving up. I mean, I've had times where I'm like, fuck, like, I can't do this anymore, especially not so much like bodily injuries, like I can't do this anymore, but mentally, I'll get fucked up. I'll get to the point where, like, Bray's death, that messed me up to the point where I didn't want to wrestle. I didn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And I know that's a bad way to look at it because there's always going to be death in wrestling. But I don't know, that one hit me. It's just how I keep going is people like Mark, people like Dee Dee, people that reach out, like the brotherhood that we have in RSW. Because once I've fallen, I had so many people picking me up.
Yeah.
So that's what keeps me going, is just surround yourself with good people you can trust.
That's a good point. Marcus, what can you tell the audience about the RSW locker room?
I would like to think that RSW has one of the tightest knit locker rooms in the tri-state at the very least. Anytime that anyone's ever been seen struggling or going through it, immediately, like, people reach out. If you don't message the guy, you see him at a show, you talk to him. Like, we don't ever leave anybody behind. You know what I'm saying? If people need time and people have things that they got to do and things that they have to deal with, I understand. I've been no exception to that, because I've had to take a little bit of time here and there for personal, like, reasons, or, you know, like, had like a bigger death in my family, like at the beginning, well, towards the beginning of the year. But I've always had people immediately reach out and try to take care of me. And I try to treat everybody in every locker room that I've been a part of the same way. And sometimes it's reciprocated and sometimes it's not, but that's what makes you a bigger person than the other person that, you know, you're dealing with. I feel like there's a lot of negative experiences from our training and a lot of positive experiences from our training coming up when we did and who we did underneath of. But a lot of it, I think, a lot of us pulled all the positives out of it. And that was one of them, was like, wrestling is family. You guys aren't, you guys aren't just wrestlers. You're not fucking acquaintances. Like, this is a brotherhood and you treat everyone like a brother. Like, and that's how I treat it. Like, if anybody's in any locker room anywhere that ever needed advice or talked to anybody or, you know, anything, I like to feel like I'm somebody that can be counted on. And I know that Aaron feels the same way. Dee Dee feels the same way. Paulie, Gannon, like, there's a lot of us that came from the old guard that have positivity that we pulled from it. And that's I think that's probably the best thing about RSW as opposed to other places.
Yep. And you mentioned, you know, if you see somebody struggling, you're there to pick them up. I've never seen a group of people so happy to see others doing well. There's no jealousy. If somebody gets a job promotion, gets engaged, has a kid, by God, everybody's coming through. Even old cranky ass Tim Cross is going to say, hey, good job. I'm happy for you. So, no, it's good shit. Good shit. Let's see. I think we got one more question here. We do. And speaking of good brothers, Dakota Steyer. What a good fucking human being there. What's it like being the greatest human alive? What's it like?
Dakota got to ask himself that. He really is. He's one of the greatest guys I ever met.
No doubt. I think I'm going to have him on the show. What do you guys think about that?
Yes,
Odds, I support that.
absolutely.
110%.
Yeah, I think his story needs told if he's willing to tell his story, of course. No doubt, no doubt. What are you guys seeing in other companies? You know, we're bragging about RSW and how everybody gets along. What are you seeing in other companies that you like and you don't like? And we'll keep it local within the tri-state area here. Or is it none of our damn business?
Odds, I mean, I could tell you. I just didn't know who you wanted to go first. Normally, you call on people.
Okay. Okay, you go ahead then. What a fucking
um,
show.
I see a lot of guys that are they're losing the plot, I guess. Um,
Elaborate.
it's because whenever it comes down to it, like, and you know how I like to shoot along with my working, but whenever it comes down to it, like, wrestling is very much a team sport. It is so team oriented that everyone in the locker room is on the same team. And I always kind of look at it like it's the people in the locker room versus the spectator. Um, it's all of you guys versus the audience, it's all of you guys versus the internet, it's all of you guys versus the critics, and it's all of you guys versus other companies that are going to pay attention to what you do.
Okay.
If so, like, what I mean by, like, somebody losing the plot is, like, they forget how much team oriented this whole sport can be.
Right.
The entertainment aspect goes, far past, how they feel about themselves. So it's like, oh, well, I feel like I'm the best, and here's why I think I'm the best, and I'm going to start acting like I'm the best around everybody who I know damn well, like, put me over, did all the things that they needed to do to give me good matches, to get me over, to get me to the point where I am now. There's a lot of people that just kind of forget that. And I see it in anywhere from, like, rising stars, like people that, oh, hey, they hit the ground running, they're fucking killing it. Like, fans are picking up on them. I've seen it from, like, guys that have been in the business for a really long fucking time too, where
Right.
they, like, kind of forget where the line gets drawn in between, like, it's a team and then it's just me. I'm the fucking main attraction. Like, it seems like the second that somebody ends up, like, crossing that threshold into thinking, like, they're the main attraction, they're the reason people were here, there's nobody else that's fucking doing what I'm doing, like, I feel like you're turning it into something that it isn't. Um, like, you're turning it into, I'm the MVP. I could run without all these guys. I could have, like, these top tier matches, do all this top tier shit. I don't need anybody but me. And, like, people that might not get offended, a lot of people just, like, let it slide. For the most part, like, I don't say anything to that person in particular, but I'll make requests not to have anything to do with them
Uh,
just because I don't fucking want to. Like, it's just kind of, okay, well, if you feel like you're above and beyond and better than everyone else here, then it looks like they're going to have to find somebody that ain't from here to come wrestle you, because I'm not going to.
I
You know
dig
what
it.
I'm saying? That's just how it is.
What about you, Duzan? Are you paying attention to other companies around the area? Are we watching TV wrestling? What are you seeing?
I really don't pay attention.
You're honest.
Yeah,
It's easier not to pay attention to it than it is to pay attention.
Yeah,
right.
I'm sure
But
it's less stressful.
I get fucking pissed real easy. I think that's my biggest problem. And I'm too aware of what's going on around me.
Well, since we's kind of down and talking a little negative, let me give props to a local company that I see doing a lot of good. That you can just tell that the boys are getting along and having a good time, and the girls. T2T, man, just every Thursday they're killing it. You can tell they're having fun. It translates to through the screen. Check them out every Thursday night. You can watch on Twitch, YouTube. They do big pay-per-view type show once a month. That's also free on YouTube and Twitch. Everybody, check out 880 Wrestling, T2T out of Pittsburgh. MV Young, the whole crew, killing it.
Oh, I love them.
Love them. Love them. Props to them.
Hard to hate them.
Yeah, how could you?
Well, it's who else do you know as an indie product puts out 5 shows a month?
Well, I mean,
And it's
RSW, we put
consistent.
out, I think, 47. We do 47 shows a month.
I mean, outside of RSW, what Fed can you name that puts consistent TV on every week and then has a pay-per-view style match or a pay-per-view style event every month?
Right on. Right on. Duzan, there's a question. How you feeling about all these damn dates in RSW? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Give me the truth.
I mean, I love to wrestle. It's demanding sometimes, taking off work and everything, but if I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it. So it is what it is.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm about it, you know. Let's do it. Let's do it. There's so much shit from last weekend. My goodness, I think I'm halfway through all the content now. I'm just going to take one show and just put it out all by itself because there's so much shit. Marcus, I see you looking at the time. I see you messing with your phone. Do you have any final words for the audience?
We're far beyond time for me.
You're going to be late for work. You had shit you had to do. That's canceled.
I thought you were fucking looking at the time here, bud.
I warned you like a half hour ago.
I need more time than that.
We might have more Marcus Twist on in the future because he's going to be late for work and get fired. And
No, it ain't gonna be nothing like that. I'll clock in and then just go do all the shit I gotta go do.
there you go.
Because that's how I do things.
Well, let's say you are facing Duzan on Friday. Leave him with some final thoughts.
A good final thought. I don't want it to be too morbid or, fucking angry. Because we've had such a good time this entire time.
Yeah, it's kind of been a bit of a bonding experience. Even if you don't want to talk shit to Duzan, something for the audience, whatever you want to put out there.
I'm not much of a shit talker today. I think I'm pretty relaxed as far as today goes because I already had previous engagements and plenty of shit to think about. I'm in too good of a mood to be an asshole. If it ends up being me versus Aaron Duzan and this singles match that I've been looking forward to and secretly been like kind of campaigning for, I want him to treat the match like he would treat any other one and take me just as serious as he would anybody else. Because I don't fucking show up to lose. And I'm sure neither do you. And although we might have fun, I'm still just as dangerous as anybody else. So just keep that in mind whenever we go to step in there, that we're not friends for that 8 to 10. We're competitors. That's how I'm going to treat it, and that's how I hope you treat it. And if everything works out the right way, everyone's going to end up benefiting from this one, because this might be the match that you never knew you needed to see.
And that's what I was going to say. You both keep in mind it's Spooky Lou's birthday, and there's no bigger mark for either one of you than Spooky Lou. So do it for Spooky Lou.
Oh, this is fucking boner material for you.
No, all the time. I'll be fucking hitting the ring with it. Just dry humping the fucking ring.
That's it. Just make sure you don't break the camera.
It's not me that you have to tell, don't break the camera. Tell everybody else. Like, since, even when we got the other camera, it's been like target number one. People's knocking it out of my damn hands. They're spitting on it. They're kissing it. They're getting blood on it. My God.
Well, I'm not planning on bleeding.
Just.
I won't spit on it because it's your birthday. That's what I'll do for you.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Jeez, oh whiz.
How long we been going? How much time do we have?
I mean, we've ran over. I was going to let it go a little over since Duzan was late joining us. We are at 1:03.
All right.
But I do have to wrap it up here shortly because I got another one at 7.
Yeah, wrap it the fuck up. I'll stay on here.
Well, I think Duzan's talked a total of 2 minutes, so we gotta.
About how long
Duzan,
I talk.
Duzan,
He's
what
a
do you,
man of few words. What do you want, man? What are you
what?
getting on him for? What the fuck do you ever do to you?
I wasn't getting on him. I was saying, he's the guest and he hasn't got to say much, so I'm trying to, give him a little bit of something, something here. What do you like? What would you like to accomplish by the end of the year, Duzan?
Taking back my RSW junior title and just going on a reign with it.
Going on
A
a reign.
Pac type cruiserweight title reign, yes.
I love it. Hell yeah.
Keep
Well,
it by any means necessary.
I love it. Well, I'll tell you what, Duzan, I'll make you a deal. Let's say within the next month we get you back on here proper. That way we can really pick your brain and slide through the cerebral cortex vortex and really see what's going on. Give you your
I don't have to be a distraction. That's what Lou's saying. But I actually saying it.
you know.
I'm not
Hey, that's
distracting you.
cool with me.
And hey, where can we get some Duzan merch if we want some?
My merch table. Come to an RSW event.
He's selling tickets again, Tim.
All the time.
Get your ass to Morgantown this Friday and see us and treat each other with kindness, love, and respect in the meantime. Live your dreams. And like I say, stay tuned. We got big things on the way. Aaron Duzan will be back within a month and we'll do it proper. We love you. Have a good night.